Hey everyone! Been a bit since I've released a real video, but I figured it's important to make this as a follow-up to what I've said. So if it isn't apparent, this is a follow-up to the video, this one. I'm going to put it on screen, so you should watch that one first. But if you don't want to, I'll give a brief overview of what I said there. Me and a fellow member of the Monster Hunter community had a discussion about the base Monster Hunter Rise game. I had voiced complaints in this video and tried to address the issues that I had with the game. Naturally, now I'm talking about Sunbreak, so I'm going to divide this video into multiple sections. The timestamps will be in the description. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first section is about the story. I never mentioned the story of Rise, or really the lack thereof, in my previous video. Rather, I largely focused on the gameplay aspects. I felt it necessary to include a small section about the story improvements in Sunbreak. The story itself wasn't any more unique than anything made before it. However, in my opinion, the characters are the second best in the series. Just shy behind for Ultimate's characters. I felt connected to the townsfolk of Elgato, and thoroughly enjoyed their dialogue. It was a massive step up from in Rise. Where I believe Rise had the worst story in the series, Sunbreak had actually one of the best. So, I'm very satisfied with that, just a very brief section here. Section 2, we're going to touch on difficulty here. Alright, so I'm going to be upfront with you. I was still very disappointed with the difficulty of Sunbreak. I can't say it wasn't harder though. Sunbreak offered a substantial step up in challenge compared to base Rise, but I still believe World and Iceborne had more challenge sprinkled throughout the game than Rise and Sunbreak. But, like I said, it's a step up from the base game. I only failed one quest in the story of Sunbreak, and it was because my friend died 3 times, so... I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm better than him, I don't want to be like narcissistic at all, that's just the reason why we lost the quest. I'm not going to talk about the endgame here, but I will note it definitely picked up the ball with difficulty where the story unfortunately dropped it again. Alright, section 3. We're going to touch on the new monsters here. Okay, the new monsters were awesome. They were fantastic. I found myself enjoying all the brand new fights in the game. Garangolm and Malzeno in particular are definitely in my top 10 list. I especially loved the new subspecies. Blood Orange Bishaten, or Bob, is probably in my top 10 favorite monsters list as well. I think it's unfortunate that Gos Harag didn't get a subspecies, but we still have more title updates, so you never know. The returning monsters are all great revitalizations of their previous iterations. I especially loved Seregios for being the only monster in the story that almost made me cart. That sounds really, really stuck up, but it's true. It's like, that's the closest I got in the whole game. Gormagala ended up being sort of disappointing. I couldn't really tell if he had any new moves. Shaggaroo definitely picked it up, though. I think Shaggaroo's fight was a little better. Astalos was my second favorite of the 4th gen, so it was awesome to see him again. I also really loved seeing the Crabs make a return. That was a great move on Capcom's part. My favorite addition by far was Espinas. I love Espinas. I absolutely loved his concept as a monster. I was worried they'd remove the mechanic where he starts to sleep, but it's made its way into the game, so I'm very happy about that. Overall, I'm very positive on the monster additions. They did a really good job in this department. Very happy. Alright, so section 4. We're going to be talking about the endgame here. This is going to be slightly spoilery, but I mean, you should be fine. At this point, the game's been out for, I mean, it's a very long time, so chill out, you're cool. Alright, so this is a significant step up from base Rise, and in some regards, I enjoy it more than Iceborne's endgame. The anomaly system was kind of on release, but with the first title update, it improved significantly, so I'll just talk about the updated version. Essentially, you just fight harder versions of monsters in the game that explode after a while if you don't deal enough damage. It's tied to the story, being as you've killed the Curios host monster, the final boss, so they're looking for new hosts, which cause the monsters to be more aggressive. The more you beat a certain quest, it levels up and becomes more difficult, and it also offers better rewards as the quest levels up. The difficulty offered by the system is a significant step up from the story, and I found it thoroughly enjoyable. The items you get from the anomaly quests are used to augment your armor and weapons, which give you small boosts to your set overall. The system offers a degree of randomness, which I do as well very like. When you augment your armor, it gives you random bonuses to skill points, but it also might take away other bonuses. So if you get a point in a skill, it might also take away a bunch of your defense from the set, or a slot even, or some elemental resistance might go down. It actually reminds me a lot of the Safi'jiiva weapon system in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. The only gripe that I have with the system is that the max level for the anomaly quests max out at around 200 currently, and the increased rewards cap out at around 120. So I'm not sure why they capped the increased rewards, because then there's really no reason to keep them above a certain level, but it's a minor issue really. Overall, it's very good, and I think it's a great way for them to improve the game. Section 5, title updates. And I put a frowny face next to the title in the script because, unfortunately, I'm going to have to be a little negative here. So, I found myself overwhelmingly disappointed with the updates thus far. Still have 2 more to get at the time of writing this, but currently, I'm just not impressed. I hate to be that guy, but they're all just subspecies and variants so far. They haven't really gotten any new ones either. The first title update had no new monsters. It included Silver Rathalos and Gold Rathian, Lucent Argacuga, and Seething Basilius, which are all returning, and it's a lot of monsters, but like I said, they're all returning, so really nothing new was found here. I wouldn't mind as much if the other title updates picked up the slack, however they didn't. The second title update, we got Flame and Espinas, which is returning, and on top of that, maybe the most disappointing addition to the game thus far being Violet Mizutsune. The difficulty posed by this monster was virtually non-existent, and the originality of the fight was extremely lackluster. We already have Soul Seer Mizutsune and Apex Mizutsune in the series, which means that this is now the 3rd variation of this monster that is fire-based. The only redeeming quality of this monster is that its weapons look pretty cool and the armor is also nice looking. I was so utterly disappointed when I saw this monster for the first time, and it's worse than when you look at what we could have had, being Thunder Bubble Mizu, which is, oh, it's so cool. It's not like a wholly different concept, but it's just a different element swap, but I don't know, I thought about that a lot whenever it first came out. With the inclusion of this monster, we now have 6 fire monsters in the title updates, which goes to show the overall lack of variety we've had, even among what is just subspecies and variants. Now, there was 1 more additional monster in this title update, but I want to section that off for later as of right now. Title update 3, we got Chaotic Gormagala, which was also extremely This monster is only saved by the armor and weapons for me as well. Okay, now we can talk about the Risen Elders. I don't have much of a complaint about these in comparison to the other DLC monsters, for some reason. I think it's because I enjoyed Arch-Tempered monsters in World a lot, and this is just a better version of that system to me. They have new armor sets that look badass. The only complaint I have, really, is they're still pretty damn easy, even in comparison to Arch-Tempereds in World, at least for me. I want to note that I'll make an update video again, and probably a long time from this, talking about the future DLC, and I will note if it changes my feelings overall. I presume we'll get at least 2 new monsters by the end of the title updates, meaning not subspecies. Depending on the quality and difficulty, my opinion will vary greatly. I'm hoping we get something Black Dragon level in the final update, and maybe a Siege in the next. Overall, I have been disappointed by the laziness of Sunbreak's DLC, but I still have confidence that they'll pick up the ball in the final 2 updates. Capcom hasn't truly disappointed me yet. Also, please, Lao Shenlong, title update. Alright, to conclude, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is a fantastic game, and is unfortunately only brought down by the fact that the base game is a part of it. The story is a massive step up from even the previous entry in the series, the gameplay is extremely fun and rewarding, and the difficulty has been balanced very well for the most part. With the addition of Sunbreak, I have upped my rating from a 5 out of 10 to an 8.5 out of 10. Massively improved, however, there are still a lot of flaws. One I didn't even mention is the paid DLC layer weapons, which I have a massive issue with. I don't really want to get into that here, but it did bring them the score half a point, otherwise it would have been probably a 9 out of 10. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and have a great day. Play Rise and Sunbreak. It's a fun game, and it's fun. Play it. Alright, bye.